Yo, what is up? What is going on, guys? It's your boy Loshi Loves You here, and I'm here with a mega tier list heading into the Pokemon World Championships. First, I want to say thank you to everybody that's liking, subscribing, and following the content. Most of the content that you're seeing is a lot from my Twitch VODs, especially this one. This one is going to be from the Twitch VOD as well. But I'm going to be ranking the megas going into the World Championships, the ones that I think that are going to do really, really well, and the ones that I think that aren't going to see that much usage and are probably going to flop. So let's get into it. All right, cool. So we have a lot of megas on this list. Mega Venusaur. I think Mega Venusaur is very good. It's very good on just one specific team. I think rain teams have the best use case for it. I would say this Pokemon is going to be C tier heading into the World Championships, only because that I think regular Venusaur has better use case than Mega Venusaur. But I could be wrong. Like I said, this is much my opinion. I'm not a big fan of it. Charizard X, I'm going to give it a solid D. I don't think nobody's eyes is on it. I think that overall as a mega, I think it's amazing. It's amazing Pokemon to use. It's very linear in terms of playstyle. You have to use it with double fake out and I think and really sinister stuff. And that currently right now isn't the flavor of the month heading into the World Championships. So I'll give it a D. I actually put Venu higher. Mega Charizard. S tier. S plus. I think this is going to probably be one of the only megas going into the World Championships that's obviously a contender for that tier, due to obvious reasons of the massacre that's been pulling through all these tournaments, and even with like it doing not so great at the most recent Victory Road, it's still the Pokemon to beat, in my opinion. Blastoise. I give Blastoise a solid B. Blastoise is very good. No, I might put it A, actually. Yeah, I'm going to give Blastoise a solid B, only because of the way that it's used. It's either used on hard trickling teams and or that balance E core that we've seen everybody use. Like I said, with Sinistra, double fake out, that kind of stuff. And like I said, the double fake out stuff is falling off a bit. It's not the flavor of the month currently in terms of usage. I think a lot of teams have adapted and learned how to play against this team as well, or this Pokemon specifically. And although that it's a pretty good mega, it has pretty insane ability and good move pool. I just think that since it's more so figured out on how to deal with it, I put it in B tier. All right, Beedrill is trash. Pidgeot is trash. Raichu X. So we know that Lele, the Italian player, has been using it. I don't know how good it is going into Worlds. I'm gonna put it a solid D because I'm just not inclined to care for this Pokemon. I don't think this is gonna be on anybody's radar or trying to build it as of late. Maybe if you're not going to the World Championships, but I don't think this is in the minds of anyone that's going into the World Championships. I don't know. I could be wrong. Could be wrong though. Raichu Y. A plus. If that had an A plus, it would be A plus. I think Raichu Y is really well positioned in the meta right now, being able to hit Staraptor, being able to hit Charizard, Focus Blast for like Tyranitar, Exodrill stuff. It just has a pretty sick move pull. And honestly, its ability is pretty broken with that Zap Cannon. So I think that I enjoy the idea of putting Raichu in this tier. And I think that it's been proving itself a lot in the ranked battles. And I know that the Japanese have taken a real liking into this Pokemon as well, due to obvious reasons. The only cons about this Mon would be the fact that it's just super weak, but you're able to bulk it out a bit, but still, it's still super weak on the defensive end, but I do give it a solid A. Mega Playboy, I'll put it a solid D. We're not going to talk about this. Trash. Gengar. Okay. Gengar is in that same realm of that Blastoise stuff. I think like we figured out how to deal with Gengar. It was pretty strong heading into Regulation MB, but a lot of teams just have so many outlets on how to deal with it. They have King Gambit. Zard deals with it pretty well. Incineroar is really good into it. a lot of Pokemon is really good into it, and you have to kind of bulk this Pokemon out, so it's not on the faster side of things anymore. Running Tim and Max Speed is probably not going to be in your benefit. So I'd give it a solid B. Yeah, it's just super predictable in terms of usage of what to come from it, and especially in open team sheet, you kind of know how to play into it. Kangaskhan. All right, Kangaskhan is going to be a solid B as well. I think Kangaskhan is super slept on. Uh, I've been running into like a Kangaskhan Chandelure team on the ladder that I thought was pretty strong. I think shout out to Jokario. I think Jokario is one of the main innovators for the Kangaskhan Chandelure stuff that's going on. I think that it's still really good and probably slept on. Has a really great ability before Mega. We're right now in an intimidate pilled format, and not getting intimidated off turn one feels really strong. And the thing about Mega Kangaskhan that's really good as well, like I said, is scrappy. It's scrappy, so like you could like basically call your opponent to switch in the instant or intimidate user and still not Mega, and then punish them the following turn by Megaing and get that damage boost that Mega Kangaskhan gets. I'm a fan of Mega Kangaskhan. I'm a fan of Mega Kangaskhan. I really do like this Pokemon a lot. I haven't really used it much, but I would say it is a solid B. I'm going to put Starmie into D. A lot of people are just trying it with rain teams for a bit, but like I said, it's kind of frail. Like a lot of these Pokemon just don't do enough to the big hitters like Charizard, Blastoise, even Kangaskhan a bit, but obviously Raichu, so put it solid D. Pinsir, I think it's trash. Gyarados, I would say it's C. I think it's probably really well positioned right now in the meta. If it has the right partners, just because you could deal with like Gengar, you could deal with for certain Pokemon like Tyranitar, Excadrill stuff. But the fact that Staraptor, Charizard, Blastoise, and Raichu are all good, kind of doesn't allow this Pokemon to be great, especially in a format where Fairy and Fighting moves are probably the two strongest moves currently. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid B. Mega Arrow, interesting. I would say it's a solid A. We saw a lot of usage early on with the team that Eric Rios pilot to get second, with the King Gambit, Frigoraph, Sylveon stuff, which is I think is still really strong. It's just that people are just trying out new things. You know, going into Worlds, people are always looking to find out what's the next best thing. This team has already been solidified, and I think the Mon's best use case has been solidified already. So a lot of players are just not looking into using this, but I think that it can make a surprise appearance in the World Championships again and do pretty well. And I do think it's on the same level as Raichu Y, and I give it a solid A. Mega Dragonite. I think Mega Dragonite is a solid B. Like I said, the fairy type being super strong. We're seeing an uptake in Ninetales, uptake in Milotic as well. But Dragonite still has some crazy special attack and not a Pokemon that should be slept on. You've been used on rain teams and even Froslass teams as well. We saw Giovanni use it, I believe, at NEIC with Sneasler, Dragonite stuff. So we know that a lot of top players do like this Pokemon. Just like I said, I just haven't been seeing it as much in results through VR and other various tournaments. But it's still a Pokemon that I think shouldn't be slept on. So we'll move on. Meganium, put it in the trash. We're not going to talk about it. Put it in the trash. Put this 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 in the trash. Hey, we're gonna put this in the trash, man. We're not even gonna waste our time on this channel. We don't waste our time. We just we know what's good. Mega T-Tar. Mega T-Tar. I think Mega T-Tar takes the A tier spot. I think Mega T-Tar, with the new team that was created by Yoshima P, the Brazilian player that's living in Japan, everybody has been aware that Sand is really good. And what makes Mega T-Tar good is because of its ability, Sandstream. And you think to yourself, wait, doesn't it get regular Sandstream? The fact that you could have potential weather control by not switching out is super strong. There's the stats alone of T-Tar, Mega T-Tar, just make it really great. And its move pool is really sick, right? Knockoff, Rock Slide, and Low Kick and or Heist Power all hit the meta for pretty good damage. And this Pokemon is definitely a threat going into the World Championships. And I do think that it belongs in A tier. Sceptile, not my cup of tea. Blaziken. I got Mega Blaziken A tier. I think Mega Blaziken is actually really, really good and probably a slept on Mega, but not so much slept on. We've seen some players use it, like the likes of Zachary Reed. I think Zachary Reed placed, I believe, top 16 or better at the Encore event hosted by Scraw with this Pokemon, utilizing like King Gambit and Froslass and our Ninetales. I'm not too sure, but that core, that King Gambit, Blaziken, Ice type core is really, really strong. And if you pay attention to a lot of results, a lot of people are using King Gambit, Icemon, and then a strong fire type, whether it be Delphox, Blaziken, Charizard. I mean, you name it, like people are trying things. So I think that Blaziken has a good chance of doing really well at the World Championships. Speed Boost is definitely really, really good. And Close Combat and Flare Blitz are two strong stab moves that I think could give this Pokemon just nip this Pokemon in that A tier spot. All right, Swampert. Swampert has been dropping in terms of usage. We haven't been seeing it too much. I think players have probably realized how bad this Pokemon is, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan, but I will give its respect that it's still super strong on ranked teams. I'll put it high B. I'm not a fan of it. I don't think that it's that great, especially in a Intimidate pilled meta. And Sinister running around, and there's just so much that just kind of deal with it pretty okayly. So I think that giving it B tier is I'm just respecting it as a Pokemon, but like in my personal opinion, I think I'd put it down a little bit lower than B, but I don't think it's that amazing or that great, if that makes sense. Gardevoir, interesting. I think Gardevoir is in that same realm of high B. We saw that Vovomax Ben 10, believe placing top 8 in the Grand Championship Festival Encore event with a Gardevoir, Talonflame, King Gambit, I believe Basculation, Mousehold, and Komomo team, placing really well. I think the team actually originated with Toller Webb. Toller Webb brought a similar team to the NAIC, and he also did pretty well. And I do still think that Gardevoir has some use case, but it's just really tough to use it when Floettes have decided to go timid. If Floettes were going modest, I could see a strong use case for timid Gardevoir, because timid Gardevoir outpaces Mega Floette, and you're able to punish the Fairy Order a lot better by moving first, right? Especially with that Talonflame. But a lot of these Floettes are running Tailwind with Whimsicott, so it's very hard to punish it. So I put it a solid B, but I do think it's one of those Pokemon that could cut and do well in the Pokemon World Championships. Sableye, trash. Mawile, interesting. I give Mawile a C. I think that is really good on hard Trick Room teams. But not my cup of tea. Like I said, I think spread move Pokemon are really, really strong right now. And if you are a single target attacking Pokemon, you have to have a reason why you're good, right? And I think that Raichu Y makes a lot of sense because of its ability, how fast it is, Blaziken as well, how fast it can get potentially. Gengar Shadow Tag obviously makes it really good. Huge power, I believe, is amazing on Mawile, but you need to go through a lot of steps and channels to really make this Pokemon a threat. You need to get Trick Room up. You need to solidify getting Trick Room up, and also calling a lot of Trick Room turns correct. And I think that takes just a lot of brain power. The Pokemon itself is beautiful, and I think that the ability is great. Pre-Mega, like having Intimidate and or Hyper Cutter, and after Mega is really, really strong as well. But like I said, just not my cup of tea. I will put it a C, but like I said, C is just not bad, but it's just like I don't think it's gonna do that great. Aggron, trash. Metacham, trash. Mega Camerupt, like I said, it's these Trick Room Pokemon that are really good. The only reason why Mega Camerupt is C is because of how well it does into Charizard. That's the only way that this Pokemon could be C. It has a great move pool as well. Getting Sheer Force when Megaing is really, really strong. Those Earth powers and what else? Heat Waves, right? And power, I think Ancient Power it gets to hit those Charizard. So I do put it C just for that alone. Terrius, trash, Banette. A lot of garbage here, guys. I'm so sorry. Metagross. Oh, Metagross, how have you fallen? How have you fallen? You used to be one of the meta threats back in the day, but you are not it currently. And by not it, C. And I think C is still pretty strong. We've seen a lot of people like testing some weird stuff. I've seen Cosmic Power on the Pokemon Champs ranked battles and stuff like that. Not just not liking how to use it. You have to use it on pretty much rain teams. There's that like a Hydreigon Garchomp core that people have been testing and trying out. So I don't know. It's not that appealing to me going into the World Champs. It's not a Pokemon that I really care about or want to see. Mega Staraptor S. I think Mega Staraptor is so good because there's so many ways to use it. Whimsicott with Charm, as we saw that won the latest VR. You could also go Tailwind mode. There's dual Wing Beat. There's so many like moves that this Pokemon has in its move pool, and it just does super well into the meta. Pretty good into Zard teams, pretty good into Tyranitar stuff, pretty good into Blaziken. Like, it's just really well positioned currently in the meta. And it's definitely on everybody's eyes heading into the Pokemon World Championships, either using it or trying to counter it. And this is why Raichu Y started creeping up in the metagame because of the fact of how good it is into Staraptor. So I think this Pokemon is a solid S tier. It's definitely proven itself in the latest VR, so I'm definitely stoked about that. But yeah, I think that this Pokemon is self-explanatory on why it's really good. It's just super versatile, and it can be used on multiple different team compositions. I'm not using Roll Punny. Garchomp. Okay, interesting. I have you definitely A tier. I think Mega Garchomp is super slept on. We have players like Jude Lee that are using a physical variant. People have been trying out the special variant. I don't know, you guys probably seen it highlighted on Cybertron's channel. And a lot of other players are probably testing or using this on the ladder. I think that with the ability that it gets in Sand, Sand Force obviously is really strong. Being able to knock out the likes of Charizard, Goldango, I think is really good. And the bulk that it gets when it Mega Balls is pretty great for it as well. I think this is probably on people's radars going into the World Championships because it's not like a favorite in terms of like usage, but people realize how strong it is, and we could just see a surprise appearance in maybe the top 8 or top 16, or even definitely the top 32 of the Pokemon World Champions with this Mega. Lucario, don't care about too much. Don't care about Froslass. Froslass it's weird. I think it's okay. By okay, I think it's hate tier. Yeah, Froslass is still pretty strong. We've seen that the Italian team used by Mava VGC has been transcending in different regulations, right? Regulation MA is when we first saw it for Turin regionals. I could be wrong. And then NAIC had a great showing, and now there is a revised version of that team for the Regulation MB, and still pretty strong. And it also has a really good matchup into those Staraptor teams as well. So Froslass being up there, weather setter, good ability, and yeah, it's okay. It's not nothing special. It just kind of gets the job done kind of Pokemon. There's nothing really more to it, but probably a slept on Mega going into the World Championships. It doesn't have the craziest usage stats, but it does do well into the meta currently. So yeah, trash. I put you C. I think you're good in Trick Room teams. Like I said, these hard Trick Room teams. A lot of these hard Trick Room Pokemon you're gonna see me put in C tier. It's gonna be player dependent on how well these Pokemon do. Staraptor. Scrafty is self-explanatory, right? Double Intimidate is pretty strong, and it does get some really crazy bulk when Mega Evolving. So C tier I think is pretty respectable, but the fact that, like I said, Floette is one of the best Pokemon currently in the metagame, and Staraptor is picking up in usage, and just a lot of other Pokemon just hit it for either neutral or super effective damage, doesn't let it touch that B level of ranking. All right. Electaros, I don't care about. I'll put you. Your ability is good, so I'll put you D, but you're kind of low-key trash. You're trash. Delphox. I put Delphox S tier. I think Delphox is very versatile, very strong on a lot of team compositions, but it has been seeing a lower trend usage as of late. But I do think it will peak up for the World Championships just because of how fast and how strong it could be on potential teams. We've seen it on balanced teams, and now we're seeing it on these Whimsicott team, like the Whimsicott team that just won in VR. So I think that it still has some use case. Not so much the nasty plot set, but Encore and Substitute with 2 attacks are pretty strong. Psychic being able to hit Staraptor and also resisting Charizard Y with any hits that it goes for is pretty dope to see. So yeah, enough about that Pokemon. Greninja, don't care about. Pyroar, I'll put you a solid D. You're not nothing crazy. Floette, definitely S tier. Definitely S tier. Definitely S tier. One of the best megas that have been introduced in Pokemon Champions. Hits a lot of the metagame for strong damage, having that barrier ability, hitting Tyranitar, Staraptor, even Raichu if it's supported well, and Garchomp, and you name it, it's doing damage. And you could run it 2 ways. You could Calm Mind it out and bulk it out, and then you could either go super hyper offensive with just a timid 32-32 spread and just go out and start damaging things. So I think that, like I said, a versatile, strong mega with a good ability, it will always be pretty good in a metagame, and Floette just fits the cake for that. All right, trash. Skullvillain, I'm gonna put you a solid A. Like I said, those Froslass Skullvillain teams are really good. Like I said, the Mappa VGC team, I think Skullvillain is really well positioned because as you can see, Staraptor, Tyranitar are 2 good megas that you'll probably see on the same team and or separately. So I think Skullvillain, although I think you could actually EV your Skullvillain to live like a jolly Brave Bird from Staraptor, which is really good because you're able to get that burn off and able to burn another Pokemon on the opposing member's team. So I think that could be really good. And yeah, I think the ability alone and the move pool make it really strong, and having Rage Powder is obviously really good. Enough about that Pokemon though. Mega Gomora. So we've seen this a little bit. I'm not too convinced. I'll put it B. It hits the metagame pretty hard, right? Mega Gomora is going to hit your Charizards, it's going to hit your Floettes, it's going to hit your Delphoxes for pretty good damage, getting, I believe, adaptability when it Mega Evolves. So for pre-Mega and Mega ability, I do think like maybe a high B is really the spot to be in. This is not in any order, by the way. I'm just putting them wherever, but yeah, I think that's it. This is how I would rank the megas going into the World Championships. Like I said, I've just off of what I've been playing alone, I'm in champs tier, and what I've been seeing, this is just my biased opinion going into the World Champs, what I think is going to do either really good or just trash, like the bottom. Like there's a lot of trash in the bottom. A lot of trash in the bottom. But like I said, thank you guys so much for showing love, and yeah, I don't know, thank you guys for everything. I appreciate it so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know I don't do this YouTube stuff. This is not me. I'm not gonna tell y'all to like, subscribe. Do what y'all want to do. How about that? Do what y'all want to do. Y'all want to watch? Y'all don't want to watch? Hey, there's the next video. But I appreciate y'all.